The difference between a startup failing or succeeding can be in your branding. Your idea is fresh, your team is sharp, your product is prized. But is your branding ready? Hello world, I'm Mike Ploger, aka the VisMe Guy. I'm here to help all you startups establish a memorable brand. How did I become branded as the VisMe Guy? Through countless videos teaching marketing, graphic design, business tips, and more right here on VisMe's channel. And today, we're going to touch on all those things specifically for startups that are interested in building their brand. We'll discuss the basic elements of developing your brand, what the cost looks like, and what steps you should be taking to get the wheels turning with your business. Let's not waste any more time, shall we? Immediately identifying your brand at the very beginning of your journey is crucial. Your brand is a long-term marketing tool that influences your day-to-day operations. Consider your mission statement, your values, your tone, your audience. It's going to take a multi-dimensional analysis of the market, niches, product qualities, and more to really nail down the brand that you envision for yourself. Your brand is your identity, and establishing that on day one will help you out in the long run. So, let's talk about where you can start. Nothing will set yourself apart like your logo. It's a visual representation and really a trademark of exactly who you are. It's your personality in shapes, letters, and colors. It's the core of your brand identity, and it should epitomize what you stand for. Now, the number one thing that a logo is good for is brand awareness. When people see it, they'll think of the impression that you've left on them, whether good or bad. And the more they see your logo, the more credibility and familiarity that you'll build. Use your logo everywhere. Social media posts, your website, printed materials, business cards, heck, even giftable items to friends. Let's say you throw your logo on a koozie and gift it to someone. That koozie may see a lot of miles and wandering curious eyes. That koozie then sparks a conversation and the familiarity with your brand grows. Try out VisMe's own logo maker if you're not sure where to begin on building your own. It's been used by companies like IBM, Voya, and Penske, and maybe you could be next on that list. Deciding on your startup's colors isn't always an easy task, or at least not a quick one. You want to consider the emotions that different colors make people feel. Red is associated with anger or passion. Blue is associated with freedom and intuition. Brown gives off a sense of strength and reliability. Dive into your target audience and consider the feelings that you want them to have when they engage with your brand. Then find the color or the colors that fit that description. It may take time, but consider how the color alone could make someone think of your brand. For example, think of a brand or a company that's got the color red. You got anything? Were you possibly thinking of Coca-Cola? Maybe McDonald's, Target, or Netflix? How about the color blue? It might make you think of Facebook or Pepsi. It's wild how a color alone makes people think of a brand. That's because these companies have done such a good job with their branding and have been consistent from the time that they started. Now, one of the most effective ways to transform how your audience views your brand is through tone of voice. It's the jargon or diction you use in your marketing, emails, website, and elsewhere. How can you determine yours? Well, when you think of your company, what words come to mind? Write those words down. If there's complete phrases that come to mind, even better. There's no right or wrong answers here. These words and phrases that you jot down will help you understand the tone of voice to include in your branding materials. The spoken or written version of a logo is your tagline or your catchphrase. Let's play another game. How many of these catchphrases can you recognize? Just do it. Finger looking good, like a good neighbor. Can you hear me now? Nike, KFC, State Farm, and Verizon nailed these taglines in their ads, and they're immediately recognizable. They give more context to the brand, set expectations about their offerings, and still reflect the personality of the companies at their core. A common mistake brands make is creating a new slogan every year. You should plan your tagline with the expectation that it'll stick around for the long haul and evolve as your company does. You can update the imagery and the graphics, but maintain that slogan to avoid confusing customers. Like colors, fonts have personalities too. They'll help you convey your narrative. really the font alone can communicate something to a customer before they even read your message. You may hear people say, it's not what you said, it's how you said it. Your font can determine that. If I put a font in bold, you know that it means that I'm being assertive. And if I have more rounded typeface, then I'm likely being welcoming and friendly. With thousands of fonts available to you, how can you determine what's best for your brand? Well, consider each font and think about how each one makes you feel. What matches with the feelings that you want your brand to convey? That's your answer. It may take time, but remember, your font can be a driving force for someone engaging with your brand or not. The photos you're using, the design of your website, any stock images you include in your marketing, this is all connected to your brand imagery. And in today's day and age of social media dominance, it's more important than ever to get your imagery right. When used correctly, imagery can strengthen the bond that you have with your audience. It can create an emotional connection that's hard to obtain through the other elements that we've discussed already. So again, consider your customers and what's important to them, their personality type, or what a typical day might look like for them. Then find photos that will strike a chord in a good way and build that connection. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Do you recognize that jingle? Is your mouth watering all of a sudden because you're thinking of those delicious McDonald's fries? Well, mine is. The sound alone makes me think of the fast food chain, and that's because they've done a masterful job with their branding. When you log into Netflix, there's a sound that we recognize. How about the standard iPhone text alert? We immediately associate that sound with a text and Apple. There's plenty more examples, and it's why sound is another element to consider when building your brand. It's another piece of your identity that you shouldn't forget as you begin branding your startup. All right, Mike, I get it. Now, how much will all of this cost me? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let's explore the two options that you have: paying someone to do it or doing it yourself. This graphic built on Visme will show you what it might cost if you're either a low-end startup or one that's ready to shell out the big bucks. You'll need to consider all of these things. A name, if you don't already have one. Advertising, website development, brand strategy, logo design, and website design. As you can see, it's not cheap. A logo alone can run you $75,000, or you could hire freelancers for much cheaper, but you run the risk of them not fully understanding your brand's personality and the audience that you're hoping to reach. Now, the other option you have is doing it yourself. This probably sounds terrifying given the costs that I just mentioned. However, it doesn't have to be. I mean, hello, just go to Visme's website. I mentioned IBM and Penske using Visme's tools to help them with their branding, and those are two of the most massive companies out there. You don't think that we could help you too? You have fully customizable capabilities to create the logos, marketing content, banners, ads, flyers, and everything else in between. And if you use our brand kit, the assets you choose now will be ready for you when you come back to create new material either next week, next month, year, or even a decade from now. Consistency is key in branding, and Visme allows you to do it with ease. So head over to Visme's website to give it a try. You now know all the elements to consider that will help boost your brand's recognition, so get over there and get to work. We appreciate you watching our video today. We'll appreciate you even more if you like it and leave a comment on what you learned, or even subscribe to our channel to learn more. We're always creating new videos on our channel to help you with your branding endeavors. Thank you so much for watching, and good luck. Can't wait to see what you come up with. With Visme, I'm Mike Ploger, helping you make information beautiful.